Viewer discretion is advised for this love-themed podcast. The content may contain discussions and sensitive topics related to relationships, dating, and love. Some content may not be suitable for all listeners, especially those uncomfortable with open and vulnerable conversations. We encourage our listeners to practice self-care and to reach out to a trusted friend or professional if they need support. You have no friends, you have me. Welcome to the Lost Loverboy Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Lost Loverboy Podcast. I am your adorable little host, as always, Mr. Demetri Wiley. Call me what you want. Today, I want to have a conversation about loneliness within a relationship. You understand what I'm saying? I want to talk about actually the feeling of feeling alone while laying next to somebody every night, while actually having a companion there that you just may or may not feel connected to. For whatever reason that is, I want to talk about it. And a lot of people who haven't been in relationships in a long time, may not know this exists, but it does. To an immense degree, it impacts relationship a lot more than you actually would believe it to. This is actually like a very serious issue because for me, like when I would think about like marriage and growing old with somebody, one of my biggest fears has always been, am I enough for somebody to love for the rest of their days? Like, even when I'm not feeling like myself, is the love they have for me going to be consistent enough to sustain us the rest of our lives? Because there's a lot of things that can come out of, just two people growing apart. And the saddest part about reality, a lot of times you got to question these days on whether if it's just two people growing apart or was y'all ever connected to begin with? Should y'all have been connected? Is it just for convenience? And I think all of those things matter. But I want to start off with talking about what it actually looks like in a relationship. So I don't know, who's watching, I don't know what your longest relationship has been. If it hasn't been, more than a couple months or a year, you probably have never experienced this. You've probably never seen this, and that probably, comes with a grain of salt because you very well could have. And I don't want to be the one to tell you, you ain't living the life you living. You know what I'm saying? I don't know you. But what I can tell you is I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. I was in a 5-year relationship, one that ended up in, me conceiving my son. I thought this is where I was going to be for the long haul. I thought this is who I was going to get married to. I thought all of these things was going to happen. And you probably know this if you've been here before. But if anybody knew, for anyone new, that's the story, And imagine spending 5 years with somebody. So when I hear like a couple and they be like, oh, we've been together 40, 50 years. I'd be like, shit, like, how do y'all keep it new? How do y'all spice it up? And I think those things matter when you talk about the foundation of what a relationship is. That's why I think the best relationships stem from two people being best friends, right? But let's talk about what it actually looks like in a relationship. Honestly, it looks like feeling unseen, right? Because there's a difference between being loved and feeling loved, right? And let me break that down to you. The difference between being loved and feeling loved, right? In order for it to be at its best, those things have to work simultaneously. And the reason I say that is because I could be doing everything necessary for you to see I love you, right? But if it's not what you pick up on, none of it matters. I could be doing everything I can to say, this is how I love you. And that's, again, why we talk about love languages. Love languages, literally the translation. Love languages are what convey this to your understanding, right? And if you don't feel it, that means it's not being conveyed the way it needs to be conveyed. And a lot of times that could leave people feeling unseen. And, you ever been in a relationship and You sitting and you got this person in your mind and you like, this person don't do shit for me no more. They don't talk to me the way they used to talk to me. No more compliments, no more this, no more that. And then when you actually sit that person down to have that conversation and you think you finna go in, I'm finna break this all down to them. The moment you start spitting that shit out your mouth, they hit you with 100 rebuttals as to what they are doing that you don't even notice. You ever been there? Listen, don't say you've been there if you've never been there. I'm gonna need a good I've been there or I have not been there. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm gonna say it again. You have been conceiving this conversation in your mind all day of how you finna hit them with these facts and this ain't what they doing and they don't do this no more and they don't do that no more. But you ain't even privy to all the things they do. So the moment they sit you down to actually have the conversation, you like, well, goddamn, I guess everything I said was irrelevant. And it makes you feel like all of it was for nothing. Right? All of the conversation was for nothing. But what in all actuality is, then let me break it down to you. In all actuality, everything you are going to utter out your mouth still matters. It's amazing that they're doing all of these things that you couldn't see. It's amazing. But there's a difference between being loved and feeling loved. I too have to see it. I too have to feel it. So y'all sit down. A healthy thing to do would be to sit down, have a conversation, and say, babe, I understand and I appreciate all of those things you're doing. But I would also love it if X, Y, Z. And y'all always wondering why I say X, Y, Z a lot. It's just et cetera, et cetera. It's basically when you were in school and they told you MX plus B squared, you should have listened to what it meant. Because now I'm sitting there breaking it down, telling you don't get it. It didn't translate. The math language didn't math. You know what I'm saying? It ain't stick. But regardless, here I'm just fucking around. What actually matters is everything you are uttering to that man or that woman is actually very relevant in terms of loving you. You're telling this person what you need. You telling them how you can understand it. And maybe, just maybe, if they weren't doing all those other things and focused them where you needed them to focus it at, you'd feel loved. You feel more loved. Do you get what I'm saying? Because yes, love is a choice, but love is also a feeling. And a lot of people go around saying love ain't a feeling. God damn it, I need to feel it. Hey, touch me, tease me, kiss me, please me. Fuck is you talking about? I need to feel it. I don't know about you, but I need to feel it. And, that's just part of being in a relationship that, starts to display these traits. Another very common, display of this is living two different emotional lives while laying next to each other. Like, I'll give you an example. Death, for example, right? When we talk about death, and let's say your partner they lose a family member or a parent, or, if you're not with them, walking through them every step of that way, it almost feels like you're not there at all. And I'm sure a lot of people have felt this in relationships and situations they've been in. You looked for your partner, you turn to your partner to say, why aren't you there for me the way I need you to be there for me? Because their mind's somewhere else. Their mind's elsewhere. They worry about everything they got going on and they trying to make it, laterally align with your life. You could be living two completely different emotional lives. Like it's in two different spaces, totally separate. And this too is displayed when a woman has a baby. When a woman has a child, there is no way men can ever fully understand postpartum. There is no way for a man to fully understand what a woman has to go through, the changes to her body, her hormones, her cycles, her cramps, her insecurities when she look in the mirror and she don't see who she was before having that baby. And you know what you still worry about? You still worry about getting you some. This nigga still worried about getting him some. He over there with the boys saying she just don't do what she used to do. Okay, because she's not the woman she was before she had this baby. Emotionally, y'all just ain't aligned. You going through some other shit and she's going through something else. And these are the signs of when loneliness slips into a relationship. These are the signs that a lot of people just aren't privy to. This is what it looks like. This is why it happens. And it's actually quite terrifying because these are everyday things. One day you gonna be with your lady and y'all gonna have a baby if that's what it's gonna happen. Other things that may affect it, like working. You don't know what that man go through every day. He got to get up and go to work. And he got to be belittled by his boss because he's want to make enough money to feed the family. I'm spitballing here. I ain't saying that's excuse for that last nigga. You take Cletus off the hook. That may not be the excuse for him. Don't get that nigga no excuse. That's not what I'm telling you to do. What I'm telling you is you may lose a lot emotionally. So when you come home, you don't even have the happiness and the joys to bring your family. Because you're going through so much at work. But that's why it's very important to know yourself and have this emotional awareness of self so you know what you're bringing to a relationship. One of the biggest is probably, and we touched on it, during the pregnancy, little section, but it's still trying to have physical intimacy. It's still trying to have physical touch without the intimacy. It's still trying to have sex. But now your sex feels robotic because she doesn't want it and you do. You just trying to get your nut off and she don't feel like herself. She don't feel sexy. She don't feel desired. After you have a baby, a lot of times people begin to skip foreplay at all. Foreplay is not a thing anymore for these niggas. What is that? Why would I have to do that? We already got the kid. Because the thing about it is the arousal, the foreplay is what develops the emotion toward it. How sexy you make her feel is how well she's going to enjoy laying down with your black ass. Or your white ass, or as my son would say, your peach ass. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, I don't know. But how you make her feel is totally what you're going to get in that bedroom. And a lot of people don't understand that y'all emotional connection creates a fire and intimacy in that bed that'll rock your motherfucking world. But all you worry about is yourself. And every time you worry about yourself, you forget about her, which brings a disconnect. And now you got her feeling lonely like she's just a toy in this relationship. You see, and this is where the loneliness comes from. And in all actuality, even to a greater degree, depression and anxiety starts to slip in moments like this. Like, you begin to lose sight of what's important. Like for me, I'll give you an example for me. So when I was in a relationship, that 5-year relationship where we conceived our son, it was very scary for me. And not the having the kid part, no, the constant arguing, the constant back and forth, the never finding common ground, the doing my best to say, okay, what do you need from me, and still getting beat around the fucking bush. I recently put a thread up online saying more situationships would fail to exist if people would actually sit down and say, okay, what do you need from me? And the only reason I know that to be fact, because I was once that man. I am completely that man. I'm the one who's going to sit down and say, baby, okay, what do you need from me? I'm the one to sit down and say, baby, it's okay. You can tell me the truth. I'm not gonna get mad. But when you begging for the truth and the motherfucker sit there and still lie in your face, that's kind of hard to. It's kind of hard to, abstain reality. Like it's kind of hard to know if you should be going left or you should be going right. You don't know what the fuck to do, and that's when you start to fall short. Not just short on yourself, but short in a relationship. You start to look up and you don't have a grip on reality because for me, I know a family, wife, and kids was all I've ever desired. It's the reason this whole platform exists. It's everything I wanted. So when I realized that wasn't aligning the way I wanted it to align, I was terrified. I was scared. I was nervous. Because is there any hope for that for me? And then you look up and, you know, y'all ain't even together no more. And now you got anxiety and depression and all these things. And I want to make it very, very clear or very known that that young lady I was, in a relationship with was battling something of her own. Something she didn't feel like she could come to me about, and I just wish you'd had her. I wish you knew you could, Um, in later conversation, after the relationship was all over with, that motherfucker said, I don't know, man, I was just lying to lie sometimes. She said, you should have just took me to the psych ward. I was just lying to lie. Niggas do that. I'm sitting here pouring my heart out trying to fix what's going on between us, and you telling me you was lying to lie? Oh, hell no. I was a joke. My whole little existence was a joke, and I went through a depression, and I'm sure, she had her struggles of her own, but whatever reason she felt like she needed to lie was her reasons. And I would never take that away from her. I could never, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. And I it eventually resulted in me, not wanting to be honest about shit that I was doing and going through, and it was just all fucked up. And everybody always wondered, like, what happened? I would never pin it on that young lady, like the downfall of our relationship was solely on her. It shouldn't have been a relationship that lasted that long. I'll just be honest with you. I was lonely in a relationship. She was lonely. It shouldn't have went. But let's talk about why it happens, right? It happens because there is emotional disconnects. Like, you don't understand this person's love language and they don't understand your love language, or it happens because of past resentment in a relationship that was never actually resolved. A motherfucker might have lied to you one time and you just never got over it. So you said, fuck it, I'm done being honest, when I probably should be. And it could have happened because of the lack of vulnerability. Maybe you were scared to be honest. Like in my case, that young lady was scared to be vulnerable, and that's okay. But what's not okay is to sit in it and not acknowledge it. You need to be open and honest with yourself in order to be open and honest with your partner. If this isn't what you want to do, say this isn't what the fuck you want to do. I think probably one of the greatest reasons it happens for other people is the routine and the comfort that being in a long-term relationship forms. Like, the difference between a motherfucker saying, I love you, and you feeling it, versus motherfuckers be like, all right, love you, bye. Hey, hold on now. Come on back here. Tell me that one more time. What you say? The tone of your shit, the impressions in it, the infractions in your voice didn't hit how they used to hit. Tell me what's going on. You don't call, you don't check on me, you don't hit me when I get off work, you don't send me lunch no more. I ain't got a flower in about 2-3 years, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm guilty. I'm guilty. I've been in a relationship, right, where we couldn't see eye to eye. I felt like I was getting lied to and XYZ, and that'll lead you to plummet in all areas. That'll lead you to go downhill in all areas. And that routine and comfort just keeps on moving. You just keep on floating down the road. Reason being, because it went from companionship to convenience. We had a kid, and it was easier to stay together than to break it up. So you look up and y'all together out of convenience. This ain't even what y'all want no more. Y'all got to sit with each other and say, is this what we want? And what also lived in my relationship was trauma and being guarded. She was going through something that I just couldn't understand at the time. I could not understand why somebody was so guarded with me. I think I'm the softest person in the world. I say that with a smile. And reason being, because as sweet as I am, and I know I am, to be honest is to say I know I can be intimidating at times. My voice is not the easiest. And everybody be like, your voice so calm. And imagine when it's not. Imagine when I'm angry from being lied to about XYZ, and that just makes it harder for you to tell me the truth. And I think the beauty in it is, yes, I can sit here and admit those things because I'm not the same man I used to be. I've grown in a ton of ways. And I think that's the beauty of life, the fact that you can sit and grow. But what that young lady was going through then in that moment, the trauma she had already been through, from losing parents to losing friends to moving to ex-boyfriends and ex-girlfriends, it was something she wasn't ready to give me. And that's okay. You know, I'm okay with that. I just wish that was laid on the table. So instead of wasting our time and you know, creating broken homes and all of these things, we could have prevented that. Because y'all know I said every episode, I've never envisioned being a part of a broken family in my life. This shit is still mind-blowing to me today. And you know, the thing about it is, it's not like I could do something about it because I can't. You know, but it's still mind-blowing to me today. At this point, I've accepted it a long, long time ago. I ain't trying to do nothing about it. The cards fall how the cards must fall. Everything that young lady was in that moment is everything she needed to be in order to protect herself. Now, in a lot of other regards, these days, in this generation, technology plays a major part. You can't put your phone down long enough for you to actually have a conversation and connect with your partner the way you're supposed to. Imagine that. Imagine how many times I go out in public and I'm sitting and I'm looking around and I'm like, damn, to every man in the room saying, bro, if I could walk up to a motherfucker, grab their phone, put it down and say, talk to your lady, I would. You know, because the thing about it is I don't do shit like that because I don't like touching people's shit, but that's just one. I also don't do things like that because you never know the space or the area they are in their relationship. But if I can advise you one thing, put the phone down. Technology is ruining us. Put the phone down, be on a date. Be present on a date. That's all you got to do. Be very, very present. That's it. You ain't got to do too much. There's not too much to be done. Another thing regarding technology, stop comparing yourself to what they're doing online. Online is ruining us. Social media is ruining us as humans in society. Get out there and touch somebody, feel somebody, connect with somebody. These days, everything is ruining us via social media. You feel so connected online. The moment you put your phone down, you feel lonely again. It's ruining our brains. So much so we got to ask on how to talk to people. Like, come on, man. Like, what are we talking about? And, you know, I can't explain that one enough. And nowadays, it's spilling outside of a relationship and it's spilling into the parent to child relationship. Go do something with your kid, man. How about you let him put Roblox down for a minute and you go do something. Go to a jumpy place, because that's what all kids call it. Like it ain't Sky Zone and shit with a name. Go to jumpy place, man. Go do a backflip with your baby, man. I sound like Gilly, don't I? Go do a backflip with your baby, man. Go touch some grass, man. Put your feet in the sand. Like go experience life with your partner because you have someone to do it with. It's funny how when you outside of a relationship, you can think of everything y'all should have did together. Oh man, if I go back, we'd be on date nights every weekend. I would have did this and I would have did that. And you can think of all this romantic shit, but when you living in it, none of it exists. It makes no fucking sense, man. You know, and I think feeling lonely results in a lot of other consequences. That lonely within your relationship, we're gonna call it lonely, not alone. That feeling is why people cheat. That feeling is why people turn to other people. You feel alone next to this person, so you think you're not going to feel alone because you having the honeymoon phase with somebody else. But the honeymoon wears off, my brother. You're going to be right back in that same situation. Because until you learn to sit with you, you'll always feel alone everywhere you go. You got to understand that feeling alone is not a bad thing. But loneliness with a companion is, god damn, that's terrible. We ain't doing that. And I think, hypothetically speaking, not even hypothetically, but let's take it back to the cheating for a second. A lot of people walk away not because they believe the grass is greener on the other side, but a lot of people walk away because it is. For a moment, it is. Like, I'm going to be honest, man. I'm going to sit here and say it. When that young lady got up and walked away from me, the grass was greener where she went. It absolutely was. Well, there's nothing more I could tell you. I couldn't afford to take you out of town every weekend. I couldn't buy you that purse because I'm doing all these other things that we no longer acknowledge as thoughtful gestures. I'm paying the rent. I'm paying the car notes and the insurances, and I was human. I was normal. The grass was greener where you went. For sure. But that does not mean mine couldn't have been watered to be just as good. That does not mean I could have went out there and I could have pulled the weeds and I could have did all of that. I just didn't have it in me. But I think that's the point I'm at in life. I want someone who sees greener grass and say, baby, we gonna trim them edges. We gonna whack them bushes. We gonna get you back to where you need to be. To the man I know, to the man I love. Because the thing about it is, okay, cool, the grass may be greener. But when I'm poured into, when I'm loved, when I'm nurtured, when I'm taken care of, thought of, considered, I got the greenest grass on this motherfucking block. What are we talking about? I don't think y'all hear me. I don't think y'all hear me. Yes, the grass may be greener where you go, but it'll only be temporarily. Because the being God crafted me to be desires a strong, strong woman. He who finds a wife finds a good thing. You know what I hear? He who finds the wife has the greenest grass. He who finds who's for him has the greener grass. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. That loneliness in these relationships will have you feeling unlovable. For a moment, I felt unlovable. I felt like nobody could come in and love me the way I give love to other people. It just wasn't possible. Until you look up and you realize it wasn't that I was unlovable. I was just picking the wrong person. I had the wrong person the entire time. I am lovable, goddammit. I'm the most lovable. I'm the brother love care bear around this bitch. That's me. I was worth that. You just didn't have it in you to help me reach that. And that's okay. Y'all hear me sit and say that's okay a lot because it's God's plan. It's not mine. It is God's plan. God will show you greener grass to either one, make you value yours, or two, move the fuck around. Come on now. Excuse my language for using that in the same sentence. Grandma, you know my heart. I love you, baby. You know my heart. You understand what I'm saying? And God knows his child. Can I get an amen? And I think I think you look up and you realize if this is all part of God's plan, it was just the wrong person. Just the wrong person. And then I think, now that we've actually spoken about it and spoken so much into it, I think now is the time you actually address how to fix it and not cope with it, but you got to heal from it, right? This is something you have to heal from. Ask yourself, what's more important? Being with someone or being known by someone? I'm going to choose being known every time. I want my woman to see me. I want my woman to know me, know what push my buttons, know how to calm me down, know how to put me to sleep. Hey, listen, Miss Wiley, yeah, I can think of a few things, but you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? The goal should be to be known. So, hypothetically speaking, while you out there in those relationships, you got to speak on how it is you feel. You got to. You got to. Don't keep it all up on your chest. Name it. Admit to it. You tell that motherfucker, hey, listen, I don't really feel connected with you in this moment. Instead of you didn't do X, Y, Z, tell them I don't really feel, I feel distant. And I want to close that gap. Instead of you could have X, Y, Z. No, let's not even attack it that way. Let's do it the healthiest way possible. You own up to it. And say, I know I haven't been doing everything you like for me to do, and I love for you to voice those as well, but this is currently how I feel. Give them an opportunity to stand on the stage with you, not just be the audience and hold the mic. Allow them to talk with you. Let's talk through this together, baby. Because I want to see you succeed just as much as I succeed. When you get an A, I get an A. Every which way around the board, every way you spin it. You understand what I'm saying? I think, man, understand that the smallest moments can be moments for rebuilding the relationship. The smallest moments. Not even a big shit. Not even a picnic. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, and nowadays we've glorified a picnic and it got to be 3 pieces on the pallet and a fruit cup over here. Y'all not even going to eat all that shit, man. Get you a good Uno card, get you a good game of Twister, 2 sub sandwiches, and go out there on the front lawn, man. And sit and talk and learn your lady, learn yourself. I guarantee you'll be learning yourself within learning your partner. You be like, damn, babe, I never even thought about that. I do kind of do that, don't I? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Oh, this shit is healthy. Oh, nigga, this shit is V8. This shit is, this shit is juiced smoothie. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you actually have to do the work. It could be a bike ride through the park. It could be a marathon y'all go into together. I was recently pickleballing, goddammit. I am a pickleballer around this bitch. I love it. I didn't even know just go out there and learn yourself. Do things to where you can learn yourself and learn your partner. That way it's never moments of loneliness. Have weekly check-ins, baby. How do you feel? Phrase it just like this. Is there anything you need from me now, soon, or later? You tell me what it is you need from me because there's nothing I will not provide to you. I want to give you all I got. I want to give this relationship all I got. And in giving it all I got means I'm here to serve in every regard I can. And not only that, don't just check in with your partner, check in with yourself. You got to look in the mirror and ask yourself, how are you doing? Because you cannot pour into someone else's cup without pouring into your own. You got to do the work yourself, man. It's a lot of things, man. It's a lot of things I could sit and speak on. And just to throw y'all a few random ones, a lot of people think you can cope this loneliness by getting married. You can't. It'll only get worse. It'll only get worse. A lot of people don't even understand that their loneliness is coming from some unrealistic expectation from your partner. Shit you never even spoke to this nigga about, you expect this nigga to do. And now you feeling lonely about it. Because you seen your boyfriend do this, and you looking at your nigga like, why he don't do this? That's not the nigga you picked, sis. You should have picked a friend, nigga. You should have picked him. Because All you can do is voice how you feel and what you desire. But understand there will always be a difference between being loved, feeling loved. And if you love somebody, you make them be both, goddamn. I appreciate y'all for this episode. I just wanted to get on here and talk to y'all for a minute. Nothing too crazy, nothing too crazy. We finna start back getting more guests on. What else can I tell you? The event coming soon in Atlanta. I know everybody was talking about it. R&B and Me is coming to Atlanta soon. The tour dates just dropped for tonight's conversation. Hey, catch me in your city. If it's highlighted in blue at the bottom, I will be there. If y'all want me at other cities, I highly advocate for you to go yell at tonight's conversation in the comment section or Ace Metaphor in his comments and say, bring Demetri to this city. Yeah, I bet you he called me like, hey, bro, you want to check out these cities too? Let's make it happen. I love y'all. Everybody on my Discord, thank you guys for resubscribing. I did make it cheaper, for more people can join and more people can have access and see what we're doing. I made it cheaper so, I can account for all of my promises in the allowed amount of time. I made it cheaper so that, I can extend some of the soulmates conversations. We can actually keep the rhythm going in terms of these conversations we having. Each and every one of y'all that I sit and I have these conversations with, I love you from the bottom of my heart. Y'all share things with me that I'm sure y'all ain't sharing with a lot of people, and I take it and I hold it to heart every single time. I love y'all. I can't say it enough. Granny, I know I already mentioned you, but I'm gonna mention you again, baby. I love you to death. And let me tell y'all something. For everybody who sat and they prayed for my aunt, who's currently battling cancer at the moment, I'm proud to say, by the grace of God, her cancer is in remission. And she reached out to me yesterday, letting me know all the details and all the doctor lingo, and I ain't know none of it. All I knew is remission, baby. God will do it. Every single time. He has not let me down yet. And I'm looking forward to everything he has coming for me in the future. I thank you for rocking with me. And peace out. I finally try to find myself. I've been running from love, just trying to hide from all this pain I felt. Look, trying not to be the joke in the deck of whatever cards get dealt. They say a star still gotta let them align themselves.